terms of trying to make the most and optimize your time on this call. Are you able to say a little bit about how you think, because I'm interested in the translation of kind of national decarbonisation targets to the city level, and how that legal mandate to act and any particular tensions arise at the local level.
Yes. Well, okay. So this is more
There's
my
so much to cover in just short conversations. That's the thing. Yeah. It's like I'm trying to build up a picture from all of the different respondents that I talk to. So that's why I can't give a full answer today.
Okay, so this is a bit more my personal opinion, but it might give you a sort of an idea. So we started to have these talks about the climate agreement, the national climate agreement, and they decided to work on different tables with different topics. So you had this mobility table, and you had the built environment table, you've got the industry table, electricity table, and I don't know, greeneries, the land use and so on. On the built environment table, the main topic was heat. For very long, actually, heat was sort of a forgotten topic in transition. We only talked about electricity, and then suddenly we realized that half of our energy demand was heat. So that sort of was a period where it was put on paper, and it was a good thing. So when we started in Rotterdam to think about natural gas-free heating, actually in the beginning I was sent away as being, an odd person, not understanding the fact that there is unlimited amount of gas available, which is very green sort of kind of setting. So with the climate talks, for the first time really heating was being put on the table. And at that time the city said, okay, listen, if you want to change the heating in buildings, in areas, in the streets, we as a city need to be involved. I mean, we need to orchestrate it because we are the ones who are close to our citizens. We can organize participation. We can organize the democratic principle of, shared decision making. So that was sort of agreed upon quite quickly, which is, also from a national perspective, it's nice if another, governmental body takes responsibility. So it was quite easily pushed. But, and then there was this long talk on how much and how and so on. And I think there we lost a little bit control on the situation as cities, as organized cities. The Vereniging Nederlandse Gemeentes, the VNG, it's a collective who speaks on behalf of all the cities. Let it slip a bit, I would say, but eventually when we needed to agree on the climate agreement, all the cities together said, okay, we agree, but only under 3 conditions. First, we need to become compensated as cities for the extra capacity that it will take as a city to organize. So you cannot ask us to do this without making sure we get the cities more money. Secondly, we need to find a solution which is affordable for the end users. And finally, we as cities need to get legal and financial instruments to make the transition happen. Parallel to that, we start with projects. That's why the government also made those earth-free gas projects, district-oriented projects where you get neighborhoods. Precies. Yes, exactly. So that there cities got money to sort of learn and make progress. And then based on these 3 questions,
and at the same time, that was when the National Climate Agreement obliged all municipalities to develop their heat transition strategy.
Yes, exactly. That was one of the elements that put in there, and then the next step is the wijkuitvoeringsplannen, so the execution plans of exactly what are you going to do, how and with whom, and etc. But still, the city still said, well, listen, you need to meet us on those 3 demands. And those actually are still not arranged. So there was a research done on the extra capacity needed by cities. I think it's finalized. I think the VNG together with a consultancy bureau and together with the national government, probably based, So, but, I know there was a report, but I don't know exactly how that was, if and how it was translated to, more support for the cities, to be honest. So the second one, affordability, well, is obviously hanging on the instruments you are putting in place, regulatory and financial. And there's also this discussion on what the definition of affordability may be.
Yeah.
So some of them say it should be total cost neutral. So people should change nothing. Others say, okay, it's fine if you pay something, and how much is something. Others say, well, it's fine if you pay something, but if you are below poverty or in poverty, then you should not. I mean, so there's different debates on that, and which makes it also difficult to sort of claim something if you don't have your own definition put on paper. And this is also one of the issues that actually are raised by the research done by TU Delft. That it's not clear what everybody's interests are. And the final one is of course the instruments, and those are not yet in place. I mean, you have the heat law, which for years and years, economic affairs choose to take the route of the commercial private heating companies who make it happen. And the cities each time said, listen, that is a problem, because we don't think it's going to end up in having a fair and, well, optimal system. And the cities are having so much less information and capacity to have a good discussion with the heating companies that they always end up at the short end of the stick. For very long, the economic affairs just pushed their agenda, and actually I think the cities just let it go too much, but eventually just on sort of the threshold of deciding on the next steps of the heat law, the VNG said, okay, listen, we cannot agree with this. This is not okay. And they started to push back hard, which sort of slowed.
Change that position.
Yeah, well, not that much they changed, but they just put their foot down a bit harder. I think it was said because they realized if they would not do it now, they would end up in a lot of problems. Okay. And I think they hoped economic affairs would realize it anyway, because for years they had gotten that kind of input, but they just did not do anything about it. And it's a small group of people working on the heat law. So you see that the diversity is little there, and the open-mindedness is maybe a bit little. So I think that sort of did not help the progress, because they stuck to their ideas despite of a lot of pushback. But finally the cities decided now enough is enough. This is really a big problem. We need to push back hard, and they did. So this sort of created a new circle of talks. And with the new minister, Jette, on energy transition, he says, okay, listen, I want to really understand where we are at. So last week there would be discussion between the different governmental bodies about this topic, and he postponed it. So I tend to think that's a good thing. But we'll see. So this is about the heat law. And then the other thing is that the city said, okay, besides the heat law,